Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to talk about the Monday night showdown slate between the Bears and the Redskins. It's kind of an ugly showdown slate, but real quick before I get into that, one, going to be announcing a weekly giveaway on my channel. That'll be in my next video, at the early look at the Week 4 slate. So be on the lookout for that video. That should be up right after this one. And then two, I do appreciate all the support I've been getting on the channel so far. And again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe. And yeah, so let's look into my showdown lineup quick from last night before we get into the Monday night showdown. So this is what I went with Odell, Jared Goff, Cooper Kupp, Baker Mayfield, Ratley, and Ricky Seals-Jones. So a couple of those value guys I talked about with Harris, Everett, and Ratley. All three of those guys were actually solid. Harris caught a touchdown, Everett had a couple catches, and Ratley had 3 catches. So I went with Seals-Jones because in these showdown slates, I don't really take these too seriously. I try to go for all the money, and I knew Ricky Seals-Jones would be super low owned. I was just banking on maybe he'd get some more snaps. He is the better pass catching tight end, but he really didn't see that many. And then, yeah, OBJ, I put him in my captain spot. I mean, he was okay. Cooper Kupp was my favorite receiver for the Rams. Obviously, he had the biggest game with those 2 touchdowns. And I played both quarterbacks. I don't know what it is with the primetime games just being so shitty this year. Like, I feel like all the good primetime games has been so bad. It was an over-under of like 47.5, and it finished 20-13. So I don't know what it is about the primetime games this year. Hopefully this one will be better, but I'm not holding my breath with Bears, Redskins. We got over-under of like 41. So, again, this should be a pretty ugly one. But let's jump into it. So first, before we get into the salaries and players, let's look into the snap counts. So let's go to Washington first. A couple interesting things to note here. Obviously, Darius Geis is out. AP is going to be the early down back. He only received 29% of the touches, though, there in Week 2. Chris Thompson is going to be a third down PPR specialist. He got 45%. And then Wendell Smallwood, surprisingly, got 26%, but I feel like he got a little bit there. That last drive in the game was out of hand. So just a few things to note there for running backs. As far as wide receivers go, McLaurin's definitely the number one here, playing at 90%. Trey Quinn are going to be playing in the slot, about 80-90%. And then Paul Richardson, again, like 85%. So all three of those guys, Washington does like running through wide receiver sets a lot. Kelvin Harmon picked up 22 and 10% each of the first couple of weeks. I don't think there's enough meat on the bone to go there. Stevie Smith Jr. played 8%, Robert Davis played 6%, but I don't think we have to risk it with those guys. As far as tight ends, obviously Jordan Reed is still out. Vernon Davis has played 82 and 74% each of the first couple of weeks, and then Jeremy Sprinkle on 21 and 35%. So then we get to the Bears. Running back situation, still kind of a 3-headed monster, but David Montgomery definitely got more work there in Week 2. So Tariq Cohen, again, he's going to be more the PPR specialist there. Snaps did drop from 70 to 38%. I wouldn't be too worried about that, though. Again, I do like the upside on him. He's a little riskier. Mike Davis, don't think we can go there. The snaps dropped from 56 to 25%. And then David Montgomery only went up from 38 to 44%, but he got a lot more touches. So David Montgomery is definitely the back that the Bears want to give the most touches to. As far as wide receivers go, it's Allen Robinson and Taylor Gabriel, both playing about 90% each of the first couple of weeks. Anthony Miller surprisingly only played in 22% Week 1. That went up to 52%. So he's someone we can consider for sure. And then Javon Wims and Cordarrelle Patterson playing about 25% each. Those are guys we could take like a long shot on for sure. As far as tight ends, Trey Burton only playing at 43%. I think they're just easing him back from injury. It's kind of a mess of the Bears tight end situation. They still got Sheehan, they still got Braunacre. They'll give some snaps too. So, the Bears tight end situation, a little bit of a mess here. And then let's look at the over-under real quick too. So over-under right now, again, sitting at 41.5. Bears 5.5-point favorites. So let's look at the pricing here. So the 2 quarterbacks surprisingly at the top here with Mitch Trubisky at 10.4, Case Keenum at 10.2. I'm definitely going to lean towards Mr. Trubisky. I know he hasn't looked good the first couple weeks, but the matchups is a lot better. He's got the rushing upside. So, yeah, if I'm picking between the 2 quarterbacks, I'm definitely going to lean Trubisky. Case Keenum, yeah, he's playing at home, but the Bears' defense is pretty solid. You could go both quarterbacks if you really wanted to, but it is a low over-under game, so I don't know if that necessarily is going to be the move tonight. As far as wide receivers, so you got Allen Robinson here at 9.8. He probably has the most upside, definitely, of those Bears receivers. A little more boomer bust like he was last year. He had like a couple 30 fantasy point games, then a couple like single-digit fantasy point games. So he's definitely more boomer bust, but he has the most upside for sure out of any of these Bears receivers. So definitely someone I'm considering 9.8K. Again, Montgomery, The snaps didn't go up that much, but the touches went up a lot, from 6 to 18, and then he got targeted a few times during the passing game too. He is a decent pass catching back as well. So he's the running back I would feel most confident in for the Bears. Obviously, he's the most expensive, but the Bears seem like they want to give this guy a good amount of touches. Terry McLaurin, again, talked about him. He's probably the number 1 receiver right now for Washington with 7 to 9 targets each of the first couple of games. Obviously, the matchup, not the best. Chicago, one of the better defenses in the league. But at 8.6K, I think he's firmly in play here. Vernon Davis at 7.8 seems kind of a lot to pay for Vernon Davis. He's getting up there in age. Obviously, there's no Jordan Reed, so he'll still play on like 80% of the snaps, but I don't know if the upside's there on him at 7.8K. Obviously, I would like it if it was more cheaper. Chris Thompson at 7.4K is a guy I do like. So obviously, like I said, AP is going to be like the early down back, but Chris Thompson's going to be the guy on third downs. They'll still use Chris Thompson too a little bit on the early down work as well. And he just has the most upside because of his PPR ability. 10 targets and 8 targets each of the first couple of games. The Bears favored by 5.5 points, which means the Redskins theoretically should be playing from behind, which is good for Chris Thompson. So yeah, I do like him there at 7.4K. Tariq Cohen at 6.8, I think people get off him because the snaps went down from like 70% to 38%. I still don't mind him here though. Obviously if I'm picking between the two, between him and Dave Montgomery, it's close. Dave Montgomery is like a few thousand more. He's probably safer, but Tariq Cohen probably has a little bit more upside. So, 10 targets, 5 targets each of the first couple of games. So I don't mind Tariq Cohen there at 6.8K. I do think he goes a little bit lower owned on this slate. Defenses. So defenses, I like targeting them in lower over-under games. This is definitely a lower over-under. So we got the Bears right now at 6.2, and then where are the Redskins at 4K? So about a $2,200 discount from Redskins to Bears. If they had the salary, I think the Bears obviously have more upside. They're just a really aggressive defense. Again, one of the better defenses in the league. But I don't mind the savings there on the Redskins either at 4K. Again, this game should be ugly. The Bears' offense has not looked good. The Redskins' defense not the best, but really slow, low over/under game. So you can target the Redskins there if you want at 4K. AP at 5.8. Don't think I want to go there. I get it. But yeah, I think I would rather pay a little more for Chris Thompson, who just has way more upside. Now, can Adrian Peterson get like 30 yards and 2 touchdowns? Yeah, it can happen. But I like the upside more on Chris Thompson compared to AP. Paul Richardson is interesting here at 5K. So I think a lot of people are going to go to Terry McLaurin, spend up a receiver, or go down to Trey Quinn. So I think Paul Richardson, of the 3 Washington receivers, goes the lowest owned. I don't have a strong preference on him at 5K. I think he's perfectly fine. I just think the ownership's going to be a lot lower on him because people are going to take the savings with Trey Quinn or go with the upside with Terry McLaurin. So I think Paul Richardson is a guy in the mid-range that kind of goes forgotten about. Again, don't have a strong preference on him. I think he's perfectly fine, priced about right. Taylor Gabriel at 4.4K. I don't know why he keeps getting a lot of snaps here, 92 and 87%. Anthony Miller definitely should be getting more of these snaps, but for some reason the Bears like giving him to Taylor Gabriel at 4.4K. If he's going to continue to play those type of snaps, you got to consider him here. A low price tag. Not the best receiver, but he's a quick receiver. He does have a little bit of big play upside in him. So again, if he's going to continue to play like 90% of snaps, he's definitely in play here at 4.4K. Trey Quinn again. At 3.8K, I think is pretty solid. Going to be playing out of the slot, 6 and 7 targets each of the first couple games. So doesn't have huge upside, but he's a guy for salary relief that I just think is too cheap at 3.8K. So definitely one of my favorite value plays, Trey Quinn here. Anthony Miller at 3.6K is interesting. I'm a little torn. Obviously, the snaps went up from 22% to 52%. I would like it if he's playing a little bit more. Maybe those snaps go up a little bit more this game. But, he's someone I'm considering here at 3.6K. The 2 kickers, I don't mind either. Pinerio is listed as questionable, so they expect him to play, but he has a question mark tag. So for that reason, I think he goes the lower owned of the kickers. Either kicker, I don't really have a strong preference at 3.4, 3.2K because below that, there's really not like any value plays I feel confident in. Like last slate, there's a few, both tight ends, Damian Ratley, those guys were like under 2K or something. Below this, that's really tough. Now, Shaheen at 2.8. So Trey Burton kind of got, they limited him back in his first game back. I still don't think there's enough meat on the bone here, though, at 2.8K. So I don't think I want to risk it with Shaheen. I think I forgot to bring up, where is he? Yeah, Trey Burton at 6K. As of right now, I just can't do it. I think they're going to limit him. Again, he's still listed as questionable, that groin injury. It's just, it's probably a stay away for me for now. Cordarrelle Patterson at 2.4K, again, playing about 25% of the snaps. He does have some big play upside in him. I guess if you're making like a lot of lineups, you can consider him there 2.4K. Mike Davis is kind of a stay away. The snaps have dropped from 56% to 25%. I think they might go down even more. I think the snaps will go up even more for Dave Montgomery. So yeah, I know the price tag at 1.8K is appealing for this slate, but I still don't think I want to do it there with Mike Davis at 1.8. Smallwood at 1.2. Kind of surprised that he got, 25% of the snaps there in week 2? 26%. He's a decent PPR back as well. Had a couple catches. So I guess if you really, really need a cheap guy, I wouldn't mind Smallwood, but again, not someone I'm like super confident in. And then that's basically it from here. I mean, Sprinkle is going to play in probably 25 to 30% of the snaps. Sure, he could catch a touchdown, but you're not going to feel great about it. But at $200, that's a shot in the dark you could take. But yeah, like I said, below like Trey Quinn, Anthony Miller, and the kickers, it's really nothing you can feel confident about for those cheap guys. As far as captains go, normally, again, I want to go with a running back or wide receiver in the captain spot. But either quarterback is fine. Again, a lower over-under. I guess if I was going to pick one for a captain, I would go Trubisky just so that he can run one in for sure. Allen Robinson, definitely someone I'm considering for the captain spot at 9.8K. Again, he's more boom or bust, so he's a little riskier, but I think he has the most upside of any of those Bears receivers. Same thing with Dave Montgomery. I think the snaps go up even more. The touches might go up even more. The Washington defense, nothing to be scared about. So I think Dave Montgomery is another guy I'm considering for sure. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. He's like the number 1 for Washington right now. 7 to 9 targets each of the first couple games. Obviously, the matchup not the best, but he has flashed that upside. Same thing with Chris Thompson, Tariq Cohen. Those two guys I'm considering as well just because they have that PPR upside. They're a little riskier, but I do like the upside in both those backs. As far as like cheap guys I'm considering for the captain, you could go like one of the defenses. Again, this is a lower over-under game. I could see like a defense pick 6, defense and the captain winning it. So that's definitely riskier though for sure. But you could go there if you want on a slate like this just because it's such a low over-under. And then maybe someone sneaky like Paul Richardson, who I think goes pretty low owned today just because I think people are going to up to McLaurin or down to Trey Quinn. So I think he goes the lowest owned of the 3 receivers. And yeah, I think that's actually about it for this Monday Night Showdown slate breakdown. So yeah, if you guys have been enjoying the content so far, like I said, I really appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section down below. It's also really important to follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. I'll give my thoughts as we get more news throughout the day. We're really not waiting on any injury news. And yeah, I will be live streaming too about 30 minutes before lock. It's twitch.tv/DK_DFS. So if you guys have any questions, you can come check out the stream. I'll be happy to answer them. And I'll be back for another video breaking down the early look at the Week 4 main slate. And like I said, I will have a giveaway announcement there. So definitely come check out the video, guys. And I will see you guys then.